Hi, welcome to a foreigner in the Philippines. I got a new reband. I just want because a cowboy sent I think 10,402 to Wally girl, and Wally girl give share her blessings to me, and I got rebanded here. Thank you, Sir Cowboy. Dangas.
Well, for those of you who don't know what rebond is, which I certainly didn't know when I came to the Philippines, it's some kind of heavy straightening material. Honey, are you trying to scare everybody off with those
No,
faces?
no. I need to cover my forehead. It's so big.
It's not too big.
No, it's so big. Look.
No, it's not too big, honey.
Okay.
That's your forehead, okay?
Yeah, so here we are again in our advice section. I think I need a new hairline.
I think you need to focus on what we're doing. That's what I think. Okay?
Yeah, so I need to it's an advice section. So I said if you got problem, if you have no rice, let us know.
Is that Wally girl in there? Can we get on with this?
Yeah, so now it says it says here husband is insecure. What is insecure, Han?
Read it.
What is insecure?
They're worried about how safe they are.
Yeah.
One way and
It's
another.
insecure and manicure relatives. Yeah, it says here, hello Terence and Beth, I am Jessa, married to a Canadian, and we are now settled in Mindanao. I just stumbled your channel last week, and every night I was hooked up your channel. It's very different variety than others. Thank you, ma'am. I am wishing more success because it means a lot will benefits. On the other hand, I'm sending you a message to ask an advice. I love my husband, but he was so insecure of my ex live-in partner for 3 years, who is also a Canadian. But we ended our relationship because he chose to focus on taking care of her only daughter who had a cancer. And then when he go back to Canada, our relationship is getting apart until Liam, my husband, came into a scenario. I love my husband, but every time we had misunderstanding, he always tell me, now what? Your ex is better than me? I never thought that, but he was so insecure and always bring up the past. What should I do to make what should I do to make husband's insecurities gone? Looking for your advice, Jessa.
Right, so what you didn't make clear was the circumstances upon which your husband, your now husband, came into this scenario. Did he come in on a betrayal? Were you still committed to this other man who decided that, it sounds like a good guy, he decided that he would focus on handling the illness of his daughter? It doesn't sound like a bad man. Did you go with your husband to be at that time? Did you go with him in spite of the fact that that you were already committed to someone? And what was the reason for the breakup?
Yeah.
You make it seem as if it was because your ex made a decision to devote himself to his daughter rather than you, so you parted the ways. But it did seem as if your now husband came in at a time when it involved at least some element of betrayal on your part. And if that's the case, your husband is party to that betrayal, and he knows that this would be logic, I would think. He knows that if you betrayed your ex with him, then you're likely, or at least capable of betraying him with someone else.
Yeah, I agree.
So if your relationship is based on actual lies on on the part of whoever, then that's always going to be like a cancer in the relationship. And if your husband, looking at your husband's insecurity, if he always brings up the subject of this ex, then he must think that the feelings that you had for the ex are purer or deeper or more committed than they are with him. And he may suspect that the only reason that you are with him and married to him was because the ex said, no thanks, I'm going to take care of my daughter, and so I can't be with you. Which is it, Beth?
I think, from the very beginning, I think your husband's insecurities is already there. Because as what Terence said, that your relationship with your ex ended up because of he chose to taking care of his daughter, right? And then later on, he come in the scenario. So in other words, it seems that you betrayed your ex, right? Because there's still, as what you mentioned on your letter, there's still communications between you and your ex who is in Canada, right? But because maybe the long distance relationship didn't work out for you or him, because he's focusing to taking care of his daughter, and you cannot wait, right? So that's the portions where your husbands came in, but there is no totally closure between you and your ex. So I'm sure that the reasons why your husband is insecure, because you show something to him that there is something to be insecure of. Because your husband will never be insecure if he knows in himself that he's the only one in your mind, in your heart, and in your life. So if your ex, who is been, as you seen, 3 years live-in partner, if I'm sure that 3 years there's a special part, right? There's a special place.
There would have to be.
Yeah. And if that special place is still special in your heart, then that's the reasons why your husband is what you call that, entitled of the insecurities that he got. So all you need to do, your problem is how you gonna let that insecurities gone, then show into action. Not just word, but put action on it. Because word without actions is useless. Okay, so show your husband that there's nothing to be insecure. You're my present and you're my future. My
Right.
ex, who is my live-in partner for 3 years, is already just a ghost. Ghost? How to pronounce it?
Ghost. A
Ghost. In other words, a dead end. A dead
Right.
end?
So to go on from to move on in the discussion as to what is happening, we're really looking for a solution, aren't we? How
Yeah.
can you make your insecure husband realize that he is the one? The first thing to do is to stop going into taking up on the arguments where this X is brought up. Well, I suppose you think the X is this or that or the other. Right. These are teasers. These are bait. This is where he is baiting you to answer his insecurities.
Yeah.
What you need to do is to move on to the more positive focus and stop trying to deal with his insecurities as if they can be tidied up like an untidy room.
Yeah, because for example, they got misunderstanding, and then the husband say, "Oh, maybe you choose me because you're in, what do you call that?
You're still, maybe he
You
thinks
settle. Mother word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just married me because you just settled for me, right?
Yeah.
And when he said that, you just tell him, look, I'm not settled on you. I choose you because I love you.
but don't go into big postmortems, what I
Yeah.
call postmortems. A postmortem is when you put the dead body of this ex and your relationship, think of it as being like a dead body. If you're married and happily to this man, that's what it is. And then you dissect it and you take the bits out and you look at this bit, and then there was that bit, and then there was the other, and it's just a bloody mess. So what you need to do is you need to gently move your husband into a place where he knows that he is loved, if you feel that that's worth it.
Yeah. So in other words, every time you got every time he feel that he's insecure, then do something to make that insecure gone. For example, even just a simple gesture, right? For example, he says he's not. He thought that, oh, you know, because it should be, in other words, the relationship, husband and wife, it doesn't mean that you're already married, the relationship, oh, I am secure with this woman because I'm already his husband, or I'm secure on this because I'm his wife. No, it's just not like that, because we always says in our videos that marriage is a continuous process, you know.
Yes, you have to
It's
keep
like
working at it.
it's like that you're going back to being girlfriend and boyfriend, you know, to make the spark always there, right? So I'm
Yes.
sure that your husband has his insecurities because he thinks that there's something to be insecure of. And if there is an argument and you always say, yeah, better, you know, your husband is so fire because he was so mad, and then you said, yeah, he's better than you, and so how would,
Yeah.
maybe that's the reasons why, you know. So instead of, if you love your husband, if you forgot already your ex and your husband is your future and your present, then let him feel that he's special more than anyone else,
Right.
you know. So that's the only way that the insecurities will be gone in time.
Yeah, because it's all getting down to, are his insecurities based on something that is real, and those little things grow into something big, and especially if there was any kind of betrayal. The betrayals are always the worst thing to get over. So if your husband feels that there is some kind of betrayal, either in a communication that he knows nothing of, except to know that you did communicate, if you ever place your ex's feelings above your husband's, this is a very, very familiar thing, is that when someone leaves a relationship with someone that they really cared about, and they still tend to protect the feeling of that person even over above the one that they are now committed to. And it's a familiar thing. It happens. So sometimes if someone is with their husband, and they see their ex, they might make some move which indicates that they think more of the ex's feelings than they do of the husband. It can't be. It just can't be. Your present partner is the most important and must be made to feel the most important.
Yeah, and at the same time, you know, always have an open communication. You know, always have an open communications, and locate what makes your husband insecure. You know, maybe you've been texting and your husband doesn't know, right? For example, you've been together and your husband and you are always texting, and your husband realize who she's texting with. You know, so give the password on your phone. Let your husband knows your email, your password on any social media, so that he can check. You know.
If he wants to, there can't be any secrets if it's a really true.
Yeah.
If it's a really true open, and I can imagine a lot of people saying, "Oh no, invasion of privacy. You know, this is not. You're not owned."
Yeah, but your husband and wife already.
Yeah, husband and wife, and that person that you know, when you close your eyes and sleep, he is the last person that you saw, and when you wake up in the morning, he is the face that you see straight away. And so you have to put some importance on that. So if he's insecure, then you got some work to do.
Yeah,
if you
work
choose
hard.
to, that's the point.
Yeah. Work hard to make that insecurities gone by showing an action to your husband.
And definitely resist any shots.
Yeah, any
Resist taking any shots at him if he comes up with the X thing again, and you're kind of up to here with it. You know, you're just tired with it, and say, "Oh, for God's sake, yes, I used to do this way." No, you really got to clamp down on the urge to hit back.
Yeah, because
Very
sometimes
difficult.
you know, sometimes the other parties, you know, your husband, you know, if there's a reasons to be jealous, if there's a reasons to be insecure, you know, it means that there is a sign that you did that make him thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, because if your husband is had an assurance that, look, you've been already forwarded, you're already been moving on, then he has nothing to be insecure. But on your letter, he's so insecure, then it means that there's something to be insecure for.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is just hard work and put a lot of love, because all that pain, all that insecurities will be healed through love,
Yeah, and the thing is,
your problem is insecurities. My problem is to how to make my forehead small.
the other
I
thing
look
is
the
as well,
camera.
before we get on to foreheads and hair, the thing to do is to realize that also he may have past baggage
Yeah.
which he hasn't
Maybe I
actually
think
got closure on. So
he traumatized.
when he looks at you and feels insecure, he might have superimposed over you a picture of one of his exes who did terrible things. So you got to make him realize that you're not that person, that the scenario that he's thinking about which makes him insecure doesn't exist.
Yeah, because sometimes, sometimes it's we got an insecurities because we got the wound that we just carry on, so something bad happens against us, or something experience that make us, insecure, or have doubts to the certain persons who will next come in our life, so that's one of the reason. So as what Taryn says, maybe they got a baggage, so you need to put a lot of work. If you love your husband, then do something to make it gone. Okay, so I hope we give something on your problem, ma'am. And again, thank you so much for sharing your problems to us. So again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for subscribing our channel. We're now 50,000 subscribers. Have a good day and good evening, and God bless.
Yes, good night.
Bye bye.